Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Christmas special of Batman Forever. I'm sure that's not scared people off now. This is your host, Niall McGowan, doing a Pee-Wee Herman impression that I've been trying all day, and it never gets any better. It's progressively getting worse, I would say.
I think it's up there with Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Well, we could jump straight into that, though, as a random side thing. Although you have to introduce yourself, of course, John.
Oh, my God, of course. I'm sure you're all wondering, who is this other voice? I don't recognize this voice. I am your other host. I am John Parker. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, this is your present. This is technically a Patreon episode, but we're giving you it for free because we're lovely. Open it on Christmas Day.
But yeah, as you were saying, like, John, that was a thing I think I randomly sent you earlier, where I just came across this thing of, like, was looking up information about Pee-Wee Herman, and then they just had a note of, like, Jim Carrey portrayed the character in Living Color. Like, what? And then looked it up, and yeah, sure enough, there's a sketch from In Living Color post Paul Rubens' arrest, whereas Jim Carrey is Pee-Wee Herman promoting a new Pee-Wee doll with, like, a turbo arm that, like, thrusts up and down and stuff. And
you wouldn't get away with these jokes today, I don't think.
Oh, yeah. This is like, Pee-Wee can defeat anything except a bum rap and all this kind of stuff. But I guess it's appropriate because we've been talking a lot about Jim Carrey on the other show. And it's like, oh, here we go. We got a cross-contamination. But the thing is, that's cross-contamination. But the Pee-Wee in general is so linked into Batman. Like, every other person's like, oh, that's from this and this and this and this. And then, Jim Carrey obviously did the character in that. Friggin', he was in a movie with Debbie Mazar, who was Paul Rubens' girlfriend at the time, and stuff like that. There was loads of Pee-Wee connections going on in here.
But only sick freak loner weirdos get arrested for. He got arrested for, right? He can't have had a girlfriend.
Are you trying to say that you, the way you're saying, of course I would never do anything like that.
Well, I'm a big defender of his arrest. That sounded wrong. I don't defend the arrest. I defend him in the arrest. Because, he's a grown man.
Well,
and he was at the time. And he wasn't doing anything wrong as such. What do you think people are doing in those theaters?
I think it's just because it adds in so much to the like a creep factor to Pee-Wee knowing that. And again, it's because we should probably explain to people in case they don't remember from when we talked about Pee-Wee way in the back of, the beginning of Bat Minute Returns. Was never a thing over here, Pee-Wee Herman.
No.
So I was very unfamiliar with the character, except for, like, seeing him referenced in other things, until I saw Pee-Wee's Big Adventure when I was, like, in my late teens. And all I knew about it was, like, guy arrested for masturbating seems to be playing an adult child. And it was all meshed up together, and it made him come across very, very creepy.
He does anyway, I think. This is my first ever Pee-Wee thing. He comes across creepy, but I loved every single second of it.
I was so surprised, though, to find out, like, things I did love about this. And I have to say, like, as a special, I did really enjoy this as well.
You don't get specials like this anymore.
No, not really, no.
Except for Bat Minute.
Oh, of course. You get this, Alan Partridge. When was, where are the meta humor comedy specials these days? But they should be doing, like, What We Do in the Shadows Christmas special or something.
Oh my God, yes. Do it.
But that was the thing, because I was so sort of confused. People who remember us talking about, like, might remember, like, I didn't get the character because I was like, well, is he supposed to be literally a child and we're just seeing him portrayed by an adult? Or is he like an alien? What's the deal with Pee-Wee? Because it just never explains it.
He's like Mr. Bean who speaks.
Yeah, it is, exactly. It's the same kind of like, so who is this? Why is he this way? And is he in like an imagined... Well, then he's in Puppet Land, but in Pee-Wee's Big Adventure, it seems like he's in something that could pass for our normal world, except that it is also brimming with weirdos as well. But Pee-Wee just...
That's the real world, brimming with weirdos, yeah.
But so I looked in a little bit to, like, the origin of the character to see if I could get to the bottom of what he was supposed to be all about. Found out that he was Paul Rubens was a part of a group called the Groundlings, which also had, like, Phil Hartman and stuff in it, who was apparently in the show quite a bit, but just not in this episode. And he was originally kind of made as a character when they were tasked with coming up with people who should never be stand-up comedians. Basically, he would never make it in comedy. And Paul Reubens came up with this weirdo kind of childlike, rude, effeminate, sort of not too sure what the hell is going on with him kind of person. And yeah,
dressed like a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because even sometimes too, you'd look at him as like, is he supposed to be a puppet? Because he hangs around with puppets. He's in Puppet Land.
Yeah.
So is he supposed to be a puppet as well? Still never got to the and then apparently then he was like a very adult character on stage. He kind of kept this character going. And then in the early 80s, he had a show called The Pee-Wee Herman Show. And apparently, I think it's before that even, he was on a few episodes of The Dating Game. Like Paul Reubens went on The Dating Game as Pee-Wee Herman before anyone knew who Pee-Wee Herman was. That's
a great idea to get your character out there.
Yeah, of course, other Batman connections, because The Dating Game was created by Chuck Barris, who was, kind of a crazy... Well, was he crazy or was he telling the truth? But he was...
I really hoped you were going to say Bill Finger.
But he was... Chuck Barris apparently always maintained that he was like an operative, like an assassin operative for the CIA. And then George Clooney directed a movie about that called Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, showing you the origins of the dating game. And it also stars Drew Barrymore, who of course is the counterpart to Debbie Mazar, Paul Reubens' girlfriend, in Batman Forever. So it's like,
the counterpart to R2-D2.
But yeah, so at that point though, when he moved into like the actually getting on TV, it was all like, oh, we make him more child friendly and stuff. And I was surprised then because I was looking in the Wikipedia and it said like Reubens started forming him into the best role model he possibly could, making of his TV program a morally positive show that cared about issues like racial diversity, the four food groups, and the dangers of making prank calls, but not in an overly preachy manner.
Yeah, I get that from this episode, I think. I mean, he can be a bit cheeky, but he usually gets kind of shut down by someone.
Well, that was the thing. For most of the part of it, I thought, like, I was kind of enjoying the fact, like, oh, he's a real asshole. I kind of come across that way in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, too, as I recall. He was always, like, having very childish spats with people and stuff. But I guess I just felt then at the end when he goes into, like, I wish for world peace and all this stuff. Like,
yeah,
this is the same guy for, like, the last 45 minutes has been going on about this Christmas list he wrote that was so long that no other child in the world would be able to get a present.
But he learns that it's wrong. He's taught to think differently, you see. That's the difference. He starts off like any kid, like, oh, me.
Yeah.
And then he's taught the real meaning and power of Christmas.
I do like the fact that he kind of messes them around a little bit, where he's just like, oh, well, this isn't a very long Christmas list, Pete. We're like, I know, but I didn't want to appear selfish. Maybe I should add a few more things and stuff.
It's genius.
Anyway, right now, 1 second. I need to just sort of detour because I've had this sat here for a little while now. I have a present for you.
Oh.
I've bought you a Christmas present.
Oh, my God. Oh, John, you shouldn't have.
I know, I really shouldn't have. No, I'm jealous. I want to keep this. I almost did keep it, but I thought, you know what, Niall's been all right this year. He's been okay. So I'll get him a little something special. So here you go. Here you go.
Well, let's see. Ooh, it's a weird shape, but let's see it. Oh, it seems to be an alarm clock version of the Chamberlain from the Dark Crystal, which
is your favorite.
Yes, that's no way a character or a film I hate at all. That's really that's something, John. Thanks very much for that.
I knew you'd love it. I knew it. I could just tell you were telling me how much you loved the Chamberlain and his little noises and things.
Sounds like a nose here. Instead of ticking, it's just making that horrifyingly annoying noise over and over again.
Isn't it amazing? I can wake you up every day.
I'll put this over here with all my Richard Chamberlain memorabilia, but I'll put this over. As you know, John, I think I've got a good idea for this. Of course, within the Bat-Minute cave here, we don't have any railings, so I'm always worried that people are going to fall into the bottomless chasm. So I'm just going to go put this over by that there, and then hopefully the intensely irritating sound will make sure that no one ever goes near this bottomless pit that hopefully it won't fall into at any point.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a really good use of it.
Yeah, but now I've done that, I've also got you a small token as well.
What?
John, something I think would be, mutually beneficial for both of us. I've got you this little number.
Oh, okay. What's this going to be? Let's see. Oh, it's a phone. It's a bat phone.
Yeah, a proper full-on 1960s bat phone.
Oh, that is something we need around here, to be honest.
It's just like, if anyone ever wants to ring in with any, compliments and no criticisms. We won't accept criticisms of the show.
No. Keep them to yourselves, idiots.
If people have any audio compliments you want to pay us personally, then set up a bat phone right here. Although it seems to be, I didn't realize this, it seems to be blinking already, so.
Oh, okay. It says there's at least, there's 2 messages on here, I think.
That's it.
Press this.
General Kenobi, years ago you served my father in the Clone Wars. Now he begs you to help him in his struggle against the Empire.
Yeah,
no, not interested in that. Next.
Hey, John. Hey, Niall.
Hi, guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Sure.
Happy New Year's if we see you. We're down here in Arkham. We're getting some extra holiday pay being orderlies. It's a pretty easy gig. Just sit around.
Yeah, just sitting around watching, keeping everything on lockdown. So Dave, how's your first day at Arkham going?
Pretty easy. Just made myself some cocoa and coffee. I was walking the halls. And I was doing that thing with the Billy Club where you just like knock it against the bars. Oh, I love doing that.
I love that
the
thing.
Hell out of everyone.
That's the best.
And I was walking, and you won't believe all these inmates complaining. This one guy, he's down the hall, and he's like, "Hey, my wife was so cold. Her side of the waterbed was just a block of ice. Hey, like, ho, I can't get no cure for my wife. No cure at all. My wife so cold. My wife's so cold. I bought her a dog. She turned into a popsicle. Hey, my wife's so cold. She even froze me out of a honeymoon. I get the blue balls. I got the snowballs. Oh, my wife was cheating on me. I came home the other day. I heard the giggle from the bedroom. I caught her in bed with a top hat and a puddle of water. Oh. What you been up to, boss?
I tell you, I was working the front desk at admissions, and McDonald's called. They said they didn't like Joker being locked up. They were asking if we should let him go.
Oh, so you're telling me that Joker didn't actually fall and die from a tower fall?
No. McDonald's put the request in. They want Joker alive. See, Joker. They said Joker tests very well with moms.
Oh, well, it's kind of weird. Giving moms and their kids would be a little, like weird to want the Joker around.
Oh, no, not those moms. Moms. McDonald's owners making stacks.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, it's the trade group for absentee owners of McDonald's franchises. Yeah, so they said the Joker, they want the Joker alive and on the loose. He tests very well with males 13 to 25. He sells a lot of Happy Meals.
Oh, man. Those kids are dancing on the stairs all holiday season. It's like, it's slippery out there, kids, on that icy steps.
Yeah.
So I saw you guys that Christmas card. Is that for Batman? What is that?
Oh, yeah. So I got this card from Batman. He gets on the phone. He says, "Who are these villains? I catch the Joker, but when I bring him to Arkham Asylum, the orderlies say they have my reservation, but they don't have any rooms. But the reservation keeps the room available. That's why you have the reservation. The orderly says they understand how reservations work. I said, I don't think you do. You see, you know how to take the reservation. You just don't know how to hold the reservation. And that's really the most important part of the reservation, the holding. Anyone can just take them."
Man, it's a sad time we live in.
Oh, sad time indeed.
Jeez. Sounds like there's another breakout. Oh, man. I hope I get kidnapped and tied up with the Mad Hatter this year. At least he gives me teas and cookies while he makes my mind go insane.
I'm hoping I get tied up by Two-Face again. At least you got a 50-50 chance with that guy.
Not a bad idea. Well, John, Niall, we're off to get kidnapped. Hopefully Batman rescues us this year.
Oh, thanks for calling in, guys. That was a great, lovely little Christmas message there from our wonderful former guests.
Yeah. Always a pleasure hearing from those guys.
Hell yeah. Now, hopefully they are alive and they will be rescued. That's all we can hope. But let's get back to Pee-Wee.
We should probably start near the beginning then.
Well,
I mean, we're not going to go through everything, obviously, but yeah, the special begins And my favourite thing that I noticed, first of all, after the initial sort of claymation intro and the musical sort of number by these guys, I don't know, like Marines?
Yeah,
singing.
I used to really want those. I think that's like a Boer War Army jacket. I just remember because I used to really want them. One of them when I was a teenager. Let's actually check them.
I had a similar one.
Yeah, it was one of.
Wore it twice and then realised it doesn't go with most of my other clothes.
No, it's not really. The Boer War is more of the kind of Zulu kind of looking thing. But I just remember like they were kind of back in the indie rock scene of the mid 2000s. You used to get people wearing
the
those.
Libertines.
Yeah, Libertines, that kind of thing. I remember the guy from the Strokes had one at one point, but you couldn't get them in Ireland. Like I really, really wanted one. I kind of made do with just not having one. Now I guess I probably could get one if I wanted. I could have the means, the internet access to just order one online or whatever. But
get it right now on air. No, I won't do that to you. You might be trawling eBay for 45 minutes or something. My first favourite thing after that is the introductions of all of the guests he's got coming up. Pee-Wee, because he just starts telling you everyone who's going to be on the show. And there's so many guests who, some of them only pop up for seconds, that it goes on and on and on into the point of absurd hilarity.
Because even then, looking back through my notes, I was just like, oh crap, I completely forgot that this person was on the show. Because you literally get people showing up for like split seconds, and you're like, oh, do I need to make notes on them as well? And a lot of them were people, I guess, who were famous, but I had never come across really. Like,
most of them are famous though.
Get later on, like Charo.
Oh, Charo! I love Charo's always on Drag Race.
Oh, okay. So I remember, like, they seem to be treating this person like I should know who this is. Is this because she only had one name? I was like, maybe this is like a character for the show.
No, she's real. Yeah.
And then looked into it, it was like, oh no, she seems to be famous for just being Charo. Like that was.
Yep.
That's her whole shtick. Is just like, yeah, Spanish singer, guitar player woman. Like, oh, fair enough.
I think America has a bigger connection with like Hispanic things though than Britain and Ireland and stuff, because I know Spain's quite close, but we tend to have more of a connection with like France and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas America's got that whole, they've got a lot of Spanish people there because of South America. Yeah, they latch onto it a lot more than we do here. Plus, we didn't get Pee-Wee, so if she's on Pee-Wee a lot as well, that wouldn't help. But she's always on, I say always, it's only a couple of times, but she's been on Drag Race, and they do the same thing there. They just treat her as like, oh my god, it's Charo.
I think she could come on this show, I'll be like, oh my god, it's Charo? I guess she's a person.
Hey, let's get Charo on. Charo special coming soon.
But it is one of those things that, like, where do you even begin with this thing, though? Like,
well, I loved as well when he's listing those names, right? One of them I misheard, and I didn't know I'd misheard it until like halfway through the show. Because he says like the king of cartoons.
Oh, yes.
Right, and I'm assuming maybe this is a character from the show proper.
Yeah.
Because I insisted, and I rewound it and listened, I insisted for about 25 minutes, 30 minutes, that he said the king of Khartoum.
Khartoum.
I thought, oh, is this really the king of Khartoum?
He's the king of that one. Is the king of that racehorse from The Godfather. Khartoum.
It sounds like he's saying Khartoum, and that made sense to me because I thought, oh, it's Pee-Wee, it's wacky. Oh, the king of Khartoum is here. Of course he is.
Well, that was the thing though when he showed up. Again, because never really seen the guy. Like I've never seen that character before because I don't recall him featuring in. Well, most of the side characters don't feature in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, that movie seems very different to the show.
Yeah, I think it was before the show, so I think it's like you get some performers cross over, but yeah, like not playing the same people. That's kind of a shame though, because it's like there's a couple of characters from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Like I really wanted. I was kind of like, well, why isn't Dottie here? Dottie was his love interest, was played by E.G. Daly, of course. Did Tommy Pickles and stuff in Rugrats.
Oh, yeah.
I really love E.G. Daly. Apparently, Jim O'Kane has met her.
Oh, whoa.
Met her back in I think someone mentioned her online. He put up a photo of him and her from, like, 1980 or something, where it was like, oh, yeah, she was the only person who recognized her because she did some random thing. And it's like, that was before she was E.G. Daly. And he kind of caught her on the way up at one point. But when the King of Cartoons came in, I was just like, wait a minute. Is that... And I was going to look, I was like, no. And I was like, that's Blackula. That is
What?
Blackula. And I was like, holy crap! And I looked it up. I was like, yeah, that's Blackula. That's the guy who played
Oh
him.
my God! What the? Oh, what a Christmas gift you've given me, Niall. Oh,
Of course, then that links directly into our show because one of our friends who co-wrote our opening theme to the main program is in a band called White Blackula. So one of my favorite band names. But yeah, looking into this guy then, like William Marshall. He's also the cousin of Paul Winfield, who we talked about last season because he was the voice of a character who fixed the Batmobile in an episode where the Penguin took over the Batmobile in Batman the Animated Series. Very much one of those episodes where like you got to tie this into the movie in some way, so let's do like a similar plotline. And apparently he's also, Paul Winfield was in Terminator and stuff as well. Star Trek Wrath of Khan. But apparently, William Marshall also starred opposite Eartha Kitt in an all-black revival of Kismet called Timbuktu. So there you go. But with seeing him though, it was just like that looks like Blackula, but that couldn't be Blackula, right? And it turns out no, it was.
when in doubt, always assume it's Blackula.
Well, there was a whole bunch of other little things too, where people would show up and when Miss Yvonne showed up. Did you recognize her when she popped in?
I recognized her, but I couldn't place who it was.
That's Charlie's mum from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, whoa! Oh my God! No.
Yeah, because obviously significantly 30 years younger. But when I saw her, I was just like, oh, fuck yeah, there's Lynn Marie Stewart. I think
oh my God, it is. I've just fast forwarded to it. Oh my God.
Yeah, but of course, she also big Batman links because she voiced Aunt Harriet in the recent, Return of the Caped Crusaders movies. But she must be I was trying to get information on Lynn Marie Stewart, I believe her name is.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm sure he would. If they did this now, he would definitely be in it. Like you can't stop that guy from appearing. I'm surprised he's not on this show because he's just everywhere.
He's going to take over.
I remember watching Mary Poppins Returns and the amount. I think Lin-Manuel Miranda has more screen time than Emily Blunt in that movie. It's like every time they make a noob, they're just like, oh look, I kind of was his name like Fred or something, but
something like that, a generic Cockney name.
Every time they stepped outside the house, he would just appear. It's like, God damn it, Lin-Manuel, just let Emily Blunt just own the film for 5 seconds, would you? But But yeah, she must be I couldn't get much information on her background and stuff, but I imagine she must be a fairly kind of good person to work with because apparently she did a lot of work with Paul Rubens. Also appeared in Dunstan Checks In. Of course, he's also in that as well. But she's also in a load of stuff with Elvira. So, but not playing the same character. So I imagine it must be Cassandra Peterson must be oh yeah, I love her. Just bring her into whatever I'm doing and just give her a part.
Yeah.
So
I didn't realize she was a thing.
Well, I don't know if she exactly is. I think maybe she just gets roles with people and they like her and they keep bringing her into stuff. But there's no looking up in Wikipedia. It's early life. And it's she was raised in this area. And you're all right, is there anything else? And then it's just then she got a bunch of acting roles. I'm oh, there's no.
That's simple, eh?
Yeah. But yeah, also in she played one of Poison Ivy's hench wenches in an episode of Batman the Animated Series. She's also in she's in episodes of MASH. She's in American Graffiti. She's in The Running Man. She's in The Burbs, Bridesmaids, Curb Your Enthusiasm. She's in tons of stuff. But yeah, upon seeing her though, she is now instantly going to be oh, that's Charlie's mum from It's Always Sunny.
She's got a really weird, funny bit as well. There's essentially an allusion to an upskirt.
Yeah.
which caught me off guard. There's lots of jokes in this for adults.
Oh, yeah. From what I could see in researching, it seems like this show was watched by as many adults as it was children, basically.
I would get that, yeah. There's so many jokes. I really liked as well. There's a recurring gag. I might as well say it now because it happens 100 times. A recurring gag where he keeps getting fruitcake. Oh, yeah. And it took me a couple of times to go, wait a minute. He's calling himself a fruitcake, basically. And everyone on the show. It's a very queer show. He's got... Well, he's not gay. He's bi, I think, isn't he? But I think he refers to himself as like a queer guy. So and loads of the guests are. Charo's big in the LGBT community. Grace Jones is.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, Little Richard is on. Joan Rivers. So he's making a comment about that because there's at one point it's like, oh, there's so much. There's too many fruitcakes. And he gets these buff builders, shirtless builders, to add a wing to his house with the fruitcake.
I did think that was the only bit of it I really clocked. Is like, oh, those are very homoerotic builders he's got. But I do love the delivery too. It was like, I think the first one he gets, he's like, oh, this is heavy. What is it, a gold brick? Like the idea that someone got him a gold brick for Christmas, and he accepted it.
That's a typical gift.
Yeah.
I love it. And you established very early on, because you mentioned voices before, and it made me think. You established very early on, as a new viewer, this guy's like schizo.
Yeah.
Like, he flips between these two voices, but not just voices. They're like different personalities or something. It's really weird and trippy. Like, he can be quite selfish and sort of mean in a kiddie way when he does the deep voice. He's got a creepy deep version of the voice.
That's the voice. Like, 'cause I can kind of do that. But like, yeah, their deep voice is kind of it's. I think that's like Paul Rubens has made a living on that because it is quite difficult to do. Like,
yeah,
it's like no one else can do that. Like Jim Carrey came close, but he wasn't quite there either. You know, it was. But it's that was insane though. Apparently, like, yeah, Pee-wee was supposed to be like a moral compass for children and stuff. And like apparently Paul Rubens would do things like he himself was like an avid smoker, but he never wanted to be photographed with a cigarette in his hand in case children saw it. Because he was
that's nice.
But then there's weird things like that. It's like, oh, you go out of that, his way for that kind of thing. Apparently he developed a sugar-free cereal for children because, you know, for children's health. And he's like, oh, I don't want the kids to ever see me in a bad light. And then I was thinking, like, you know, you're in a Batman movie where you throw a deformed baby in a river, right? Like, I'm pretty sure some kids saw that and were like, Pee-wee threw a freaking baby in a river.
That'd be post-scandal, wouldn't it? I don't know, actually. When was the scandal?
I think the scandal was like 94. So.
Oh, I was thinking it was just before Batman. Oh, God, yeah. Maybe at that point he's like, well, you know, Pee-wee's kind of over.
I kind of thought it was quite refreshing in that he seems to be very fond of the character. Like Paul Rubens would do Pee-wee at the drop of a hat. And I always liked seeing that because we have so many examples of people who don't adhere to that. Like Harrison Ford, who's just like for, 30-odd years, you wouldn't dare mention Star Wars around him. And yeah, I think even like Coogan for a bit kind of distanced himself from Alan Partridge. And thankfully...
he did for years, yeah.
Yeah, he's finally come back to accept it now. As is, you know, Carrie Fisher came in where she's like, I know who I am. Like, I'm Princess Leia to people and I accept that and stuff. So I like that Paul Rubens is very much like, I'll bring Pee-wee Herman back as many times as I need to and stuff like this.
Yeah, why not? Do it. That Netflix movie got good reviews. I've not seen it, obviously.
Yeah. But this is other, because you know, I always hate finding out that the people, you know, don't have time for their past creations or something. Like, you know, friggin' the woman who played Mrs. Doyle in Father Ted doesn't want any affiliation with it and stuff. It's like,
oh no, really?
Yeah, she just really wants, like, I think she turned down, I think that they did like a couple years back, like a 20-year anniversary of like the last episode or something.
Yeah.
Big documentary. Everybody came back except her. And apparently she was just like, yeah, people associate me with it too much. I want to move on. And it's like, your co-star died 20 years ago. This is a tribute to him. Wouldn't it be nice to come back and just be like, yeah, this is the show that made me? I
not wanting to be like too tied to a role, but come on, people have such affection for it, and she still is basically known for that. It's been a long time, and she hasn't sort of become known for much else.
Yeah.
No effect. I mean, she's doing better than me, but yeah, and it's a nice tribute to him.
Yeah, I mean, like Ardo Hanlon came back for it, and like you think if anyone, he'd be trying to get rid of like the Father Dougal, like you know, aura around him. But he was like, oh no, of course, he came straight back in. Like, oh, fair play to you. But yeah, so thankfully Paul Rubens does seem to be the type is like, I think he deliberately put Pee-wee on ice in the 90s due to the scandal, and then I was like, okay, you know, it's been 10 years. I think I can bring this guy back and stuff. And he seems to be constantly pitching new Pee-wee projects every other day and stuff.
Oh my God. Niall, that was the door.
A doorbell on a podcast? How unorthodox, John.
Who could that be? We're not expecting guests, are we?
Oh, well, my door's always open to whoever knows how to ring my bell. But,
Well, let's go and have a look.
oh my God. Speaking of ringing a bell, it's Town Bike.
Muppets wasn't on this year, and Sky has brought out Elf. Robbie Williams is on instead. I wanna kill myself. When the office party, but my crush, he didn't come. All I got was a pounding head and a photocopy bum. And I was under the weather, even though the snow had yet to fall. Should have been the worst Christmas ever, but you were the greatest gift of all. Stocked up at the Asda, but the turkeys were all gone. This year's dinner, turkey flavored pot noodle for one. Took down the mistletoe, Filipino kisses for me. But just then the doorbell rang. I wonder who it could be. And I was under the weather, even though the snow had yet to fall. Should have been the worst Christmas ever. You were the greatest gift of all. We had makeups, we had breakups, we had best friend 101. Should have been the worst Christmas ever, but I'll miss them when they're gone. Under the weather, even though the snow had yet to fall. Should have been the worst Christmas ever, but you were the greatest. And now we're together, waiting for the snow outside to fall. It'll be the best Christmas ever, but you were the greatest gift of all.
Woo, whoa, that was great. Thanks for stopping by. Town Bike, Liverpool's pop punk legends.
Ooh, now on your bike. Get out of here.
Yay, hop on your bikes. Oh, thank you for the wonderful Christmas cheer. It's like getting carolers come round, but if they played electric guitars in your face.
Although speaking of, we had welcome guests. One bit of this I really did love was Whoopi Goldberg getting in touch with Pee-Wee Herman.
Oh my God, I wet myself laughing.
At this point, I guess Whoopi Goldberg's still a pretty big star.
Yeah,
but back then, I guess she would have been one of the biggest things in America and stuff.
Definitely.
So the idea she'd come on trying to if you need me on your show, Pee-Wee, I'm up for it. Just well, we're pretty booked as it is, Whoopi,
And I love the way she's like, oh, I'll come on next year then. It's like, oh, we're booked up for then too. Maybe in 2 years.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I'll see you in 2 years' time, right? Maybe, yeah.
That was genuinely one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
I love too that the misdirect kind of keeps going as well, because when you look it up on Netflix, one of the promo pictures is Paul Rubens and Whoopi Goldberg hugging, like she's on the sets. So people will be like, oh, I guess Whoopi Goldberg's in this. And then nope.
Oh, it's amazing. It's so good. I love that she's just in on the joke as well, making fun of herself.
I did also love like later on you get Oprah for like 5 seconds as well. Just like
Yeah, that caught me by surprise. I didn't realize she was in it.
It was so weird as well because her video footage they use of her is of like a distinctly less like lower quality than all the other guests. Like it was literally filmed like we just have a handheld video camera, just get any shot of Oprah you can.
One take.
And she's just like, no, I'm like, I guess at that point too, Oprah also one of the biggest things in America. But yeah, there's a couple of other people like so again, Cher shows up at one point. For like just a random I guess Cher was free, just wandered on set. Like you can tell there must have been a great affection amongst people where like they wanted to be on this show. Like
Yeah.
Because I imagine it's hard to tell what's going on in Grace Jones's head at any given moment, but it seems like she would be on board for this kind of project of like just someone sends Pee-Wee this giant package and it's just Grace Jones, and she does one number and she's wearing like a weird. I don't know what you. Well, I guess you could say that about any moment of Grace Jones and anything really, but
she looks incredible though. She's amazing. I love that bit.
And there's she's kind of wearing like a pharaoh hat, but then like a big fur coat and stuff. And
I just love the idea of Grace Jones grooving out on a kids show. It's baffling to me. Does she know where she is?
That's hard to tell. Like she could have been like someone sent me a check. And they told me to show up and sing a song. Yep. And it's just like, I remember, she asked her about it now. She might be, I recall there was a man in a gray suit, and there was a lot of moving furniture that appeared to be alive. And I was there for 20 minutes, and then I left.
That's the vibe I get from it, and it's fantastic. I am here for it. And we've even, again though, where do we begin, right? We've missed Magic Johnson. Who, again, isn't a big deal here necessarily, but I've heard of him. And that whole bit in the snow is hilarious.
It's so, like, classically celebrity guest who's not really an actor awkward kind of thing. Because even then when he's going off, it's like, bye, Pee-Wee. Like, he just really doesn't know, like, it doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing or anything.
And the really bad graphics on the whole section, just, oh my God. And then, then after that, you see that genie guy who just made me think of Noel Fielding.
Oh, yeah, I think that must have been what they were going for in the Mighty Bush.
It's got to be, right? It's the Mighty Bush.
So, I mean, I guess we didn't get the show over here, but they must have been a fan of this. Like, this seems really up their alley. Like, maybe, I don't know.
It's a kid's version of the Mighty Bush.
Basically, it is, yeah. Yeah, it's like, what's his name? Jalby. I was doing, like, the Mika ho 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 and all this sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say, though, people listen to us. We will have to address the fact with Magic Johnson. Of course, he was a big guest star in The Simpsons that one time as well. Because, again, not knowing basketball, not knowing like an American celebrity of that, in the sporting world. As soon as I heard his name, though, I was doing like Magic Johnson and Homer's voice in my head. And doing like, oh, what's this? A congratulatory phone call from Irving Magic Johnson?
Oh, he's called Irving.
I've not researched it, but I recall Mr. Burns saying Irving Magic Johnson. I'm assuming, unless I'm remembering it wrong. But
unless that's a joke that we don't understand because we don't know these people.
Yeah. Because for a long time, it was just like, Magic Johnson's knife guy. Like, oh, guess I pulled a Homer. Like, and now he'll be also remembered as the really awkward guest on the Pee-Wee special.
And an awkward guest on Batman. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! Magic Johnson.
No. You do get as well. Oh God, there's so many guests to run through. Frankie Avalon. Oh yeah. In one of the funniest recurring bits again.
Oh, that was my favorite joke. Again, this is making Pee-Wee seem like such an asshole. It's like, Frankie,
he's a slave driver.
Yeah, Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicelli. Again, of course, she has because she starred in like all those old kind of like beach movies back in the day, which is you can imagine like you can tell by the vibe of Paul Rubens, he would have been into all that cheesy 1960s beach movie stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But she was also in Head, the Monkees movie, which was written by Jack Nicholson.
Oh.
So, again, Batman connections all over the place here.
Everything's connected.
But yeah, the idea, like, he's basically getting them to, like, send 2,000 Christmas cards or something. And it keeps, like, cutting back to them while, like, Pee-Wee's getting ready to go out in the snow. And they're like, oh, it's snowing. And he's just like, well, have you finished those Christmas cards yet? Like, no.
Oh, it killed me every time. And they get a green mouth.
And just at the end,
Or
too,
green
like, they finally finish the cards. And I was like, well, have you made the envelopes yet? It's like, back to square one.
I love any joke where Pee-wee is just, like, evil. He's a sweatshop owner. Look at him. He's a capitalist.
Again, though, like you say, at the very end, he's all like, "Oh, peace on earth" and stuff. But I think a lot of kids are going to just be taken away, like, "Oh, he's an evil asshole." Like that's kind of why you like him. It's like, well, he's getting away with things that you can't get away with and stuff.
He's a bit cheeky.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went to maybe you can take inspiration from his humor and that, but you're supposed to learn from it what he learns as well, I think.
Yeah.
And I actually wrote down, I've just realised, because the king comes back, Blackula.
Oh, yeah.
And then I've got my very next note, after more fruitcake from the king, is Joan Rivers in a rockula cape.
Oh. It's all tying in.
It's all tying in. Because, she pops up, and all I can describe that as is the rockula cape. It probably says rockula on it. I don't know.
And she was a big fan of the movie, and she bought the cape afterwards.
Yeah, the original cape. Yeah.
Well, I have to actually double check this because, no, yeah, it's true. So I have to say, I will admit, I used to really hate Joan Rivers because, in much of the way, it's like, well, Pee-Wee Herman's a really mean guy. All I remember Joan Rivers for is just her criticizing people. Like, she'd be making fun of people on the red carpet. She'd always be doing like fashion segments where she'd be making fun of what people wore and stuff. And it was always come across to me as being like really mean-spirited. Like, I'm sure like maybe she was a lovely woman and stuff in real life, but I always just found her to be like very, very unlikable.
I think it's meant to be tongue-in-cheek, but whether or not it actually comes across that way is another matter.
Well, she was very, very beloved. Because I remember when she died, like, it was a big deal. Like, people were really pouring out their hearts about it. But the reason I always distinctly, I think it also added to my disdain for her was the fact that me and her share a birthday.
So that's the worst crime to you.
I think it was one time I looked up, like, oh, I wonder what celebrities share my birthday. Like, our friend Julie one time, I think I made a joke that she didn't get, where it was her birthday, and on Facebook I looked up what celebrity's birthday it was. Yeah. And then messaged her saying, like, Julie, you know it's Ben Affleck's birthday today. Happy birthday for Ben Affleck, huh? And then she was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Come on. Oh.
But in doing that, I was like, I wonder what celebrity share my birthday. And the big one was Joan Rivers. I was like, oh, God damn it.
Oh, there could be worse. Come on.
Could be, I know. Nigel Farage or someone.
Oh, God, let's not get political. Oh, I'm too depressed. Oh, shoot me, Niall, shoot me.
It's been a rough week, but
I've been hitting the booze to get through it. But anyway, yes.
That was one thing though. I was thinking of, like, considering looking back, some of the cartoons from our childhood and stuff was always like, well, you know, in the 90s you had like weird twisted stuff like Ren and Stimpy and things like that. And I was kind of thinking with this is like, that's in the same vein. I wonder what happened in the 80s where children's television just got so surreal and twisted. But then the King of Cartoons segment is him showing you like really, really old cartoons.
Oh, it's weird, that cartoon as well.
I think I was really open to like, oh no, children's TV didn't get weird in the 80s. It apparently back in the 30s it was also very, very strange.
Yeah. Imagine being the person who came up with this cartoon.
Yeah.
What was going through their mind?
Well, that's one of the cartoon is Christmas Comes But Once a Year, I think it's called. And it's one of the Fleischer cartoons, like Max Fleischer animation studio, way back in the day. Very famous for making the first kind of on-screen version of Superman, if I recall correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Fleischer Superman cartoons are still... I think you still get them on Amazon Prime and stuff. They're kind of quite... they're quite, insanely dated now, but still very beloved by a lot of people. But yeah, I thought that was a kind of a nice little segment too to throw in as like a little throwback to like, just I guess would be Paul Rubin's inspiration and what he would have grown up on is like really weird old cartoons.
That makes sense, yeah.
I know in the main program apparently the theme tune is sang by Cyndi Lauper, but it's her doing an impression of Betty Boop.
Wait,
so
what
again,
the hell? What?
Yeah, so it's like She's just got, I can't remember the exact theme, but it's just like, it's Pee-wee's Playhouse. It's a crazy place where anything can happen. But it's a really, really grating voice. And I think for years they claimed it was like some random woman. And then eventually, like a couple of years after, Cyndi Lauper was like, no, that's me. Like, I did that.
Brilliant. But
yeah, even then, invoking the spirit of Betty Boop. And those Betty Boop cartoons are friggin' bonkers. So it's one of those things of just like, but I thought that was quite strange in the fact that like comparing, British and Irish kids TV to American kids TV, because like we didn't get this over here, and I was like, what would be the UK equivalent of Pee-wee's Playhouse? It's like Blue Peter, I guess. Like this, Blue Peter's like boring as all hell when you're a kid. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Did we have anything like this?
Like Sooty and Sweep, I guess, because it's a guy talking to puppets, but that's very innocent.
Yeah, it's got a different vibe to it. I don't know. I'm really struggling to think. I suppose you might have to go from sort of bit before our childhood. I guess you could say it was still played when we were kids. Rainbow.
Yeah, I guess. But even Rainbow, like it seems like that's all really like nice, polite. Happy little friendly stuff for kids, where this seems like this is like, again, would have appealed to a lot of adults. And
hey, I think that's a good tactic, because you're going to have to be watching it with your kids, so to put stuff in to keep the parents entertained.
Oh, hold on a second, Niall. It seems like we've got another message on the phone. I didn't hear it ring. I think we were just too busy chatting about Pee-wee and stuff, but we've got another message on the phone here, so let me just press the button and hear who this is.
Well, hi, Niall and Jon.
Hi, Jon and Niall.
It's Jessa and Murren.
From Point Break Minute.
We want to thank you so much for having us as guests on your Pee-wee's Christmas special episode. I didn't know much about Pee-wee Herman coming into this, but since you asked us, I decided to check out the Christmas special, and I realized I've actually been dating Pee-wee Herman for the last couple years.
Last 6 years.
Oh. So I just want to say enjoy the fruitcake, and wish you a very, very Merry Christmas all the way from Portland, Oregon.
And happy holidays.
Oh, that's the word of the day. Ah!
Well, there you go. There you have it. Adults who love Pee-wee, they've been won over by him. What more can you say? Point proven. Point break proven. But back to the show in question.
Although I will say another thing that I thought was kind of vaguely horrifying when it was on the screen, and then when I looked into it, I was like, holy crap, I didn't know that, was the Penny cartoon. With a claymation cartoon with this little girl who has pennies for eyes.
Yeah, that was quite intriguing. I wasn't sure what was going on with that in a good way.
Yeah, and she blatantly had just got a recording of some kid talking and then just animated around that. But then looking into Penny, I was like, oh, who came up with that? Apparently a creation of Nick Park, who did Wallace and Gromit and stuff.
Whoa, what the hell?
Yeah, Nick Park and Craig Bartlett, who was the guy who created Hey Arnold. So that's before Hey Arnold. And that started joining dots together in my head, because I was like, I remember before Hey Arnold was a thing, there used to be an advert. I think it was for like Walker's Crisps or something in the UK, which had a claymation character who looked exactly like Arnold. And then when Hey Arnold popped up, I remember saying to like people in school, like, is he the guy from the adverts? And no one seemed to remember it. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it was the same. And now looking into it, it's like, no, apparently Hey Arnold, that character of Arnold, featured in Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Whoa, what?
As a claymation thing, and was affiliated with the Penny cartoons. And then I guess in the 90s he just pitched, just kept the character design, and then pitched an entirely different kind of show where it's like, well, it's kind of a fairly realistic kind of show about a cartoon about an inner city kid and stuff.
Yeah, despite the shape of his head, it's quite realistic. Yeah,
it's really delving into like, well, this is he's no privileged kid, like it's lower middle class families and stuff, and like the crap they go through in the inner city, but
inner city pressure.
But yeah, that was another one of those just things like, holy crap, I didn't know that was came from this. And we could be saying that to American listeners who are like, of course that's where the Penny cartoons where they led to and stuff. And even other little things like they have Miss Renee shows up. And that was recognized her as well as like she was in an episode of Taxi. I remember it was one of those episodes. It's like this, it ain't dated well, where she was very, very heavy, and the whole pitch of the episode.
Jokes about it.
Oh yeah, tons. But like there was, I think it was like she had met Judd Hirsch's character over the phone, and then when she showed up, he was just kind of taken by surprise because they were just like, well, you couldn't date a fat person, all this kind of thing, and then a lot of fat jokes and stuff. But he was trying to be like a good guy and be like, well, I'm not going to let it bother me and stuff. But then the entire date, all she would do was just try to bring attention to it and be like, that's right, I know you want to walk out at me and stuff. And then she came across as a horrible character. And it was at the end of the episode, you're like, I don't know who I like in this anymore. Like, this is
what's the message?
A complete tonal mess. And I think that she came back for another episode where she slimmed down and she was on this crazy diet and stuff. And they kept making all the fat jokes. And I was just like, this isn't good, Taxi. You shouldn't be doing this.
No,
and then at the end, it turned out she only slimmed down to get Judd Hirsch's character's like romantic affections. And he was just like, no, I'm not interested in you.
Oh, I was hoping it was going to be she did it to get his affections and then spurn him.
No, he spurns her. And then I remember the end of the episode is like she grabs his dinner at the restaurant they're in and starts wolfing down all his food as if she's just going to put the weight back on. I was like, this doesn't go around. But yeah, seeing Miss Renee, I was like, that's that woman from Taxi, right? And
well, enjoy your Christmas dinner, everybody.
I think her name was Angela because the very melancholic theme tune, the Taxi, was also called Angela. And then at one point, I think I heard that like it was originally her theme tune, and then I think the producers heard that the music made for her, and they're like, "Oh, that's really good. Just make that the theme tune to the show."
Oh,
so but yeah, there's some random Taxi facts for you there, folks.
We need to mention as well, Billy Baloney.
Oh, yeah.
What is this? He wants to sing for some reason. Is this meant to be kind of a projection of Pee-wee's bad side? Because this guy is a puppet.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like an actual sort of ventriloquist style dummy.
He looks very sinister as well.
Yeah.
There's just something off about him.
I think it's Pee-wee letting his naughtiness out through this vessel.
This could have been like a Tim Burton that continued with the Batman movies. You could have had Paul Rubens in as the ventriloquist and just bringing this puppet
Billy
back.
Baloney, yes! Oh, that would have been beautiful.
I also got flashes in some of the other puppets. Wasn't there one called like Randy or Rusty or something? And there's a scene where they're all out like dancing in the snow, and you see him. He's very obviously done with like strings and stuff. Kept getting flashes of like the aliens in Communion when they're just kind of floating through the spaceship and stuff.
And it was beautiful. You remembered those incredible effects that just blew your mind.
Well, that's a lot of stuff in Communion I don't think I'll ever forget, quite frankly.
You mentioned snow, and when he is outside in the snow, 2 things I love happen. 3 things I love happen. 4 things I love happen. That actually, I wasn't trying to quote that. So first of all, he makes a joke about fake snow. Because he's like, if you don't have any real snow, just get, I can't remember the exact amount, just get 150 pounds of coconut shavings. And that's clearly what he's got. It's the fakest looking snow ever. And then on top of that, Lawrence Fishburne turns up.
Oh, yeah.
As a cowboy, I knew this is the only person I knew started off in this show. Or no, maybe not started off, but had a big part in the show. And I just assumed, he probably isn't in it by this point. Oh, he's in it.
Yeah.
And he's doing a terrible accent. It's great.
As well as, apparently, I think Fishburne might have been in The Groundlings as well, which is kind of weird to think of. He's like respected thespian, Lawrence Fishburne. But there was a long time of his career where he was Larry Fishburne. I think he had like an early 90s rebranding where he's like, no, I'm Lawrence now.
He's rebadged himself, yeah.
Yeah, but it's so weird to think that like, this is around the time of Boys in the Hood. This is like, this is essentially Furious Styles from Boys in the Hood is playing Cowboy Curtis at this point.
That's a great idea, I think. But diversify your portfolio.
I think Fishburne strikes me as the type, too, that like, if they were to do another Pee-wee Christmas special, and he asked Fishburne back to be Cowboy Curtis. Fishburne would be like, yeah, I'll do that. That's
I could see that. Why not?
yeah. But
He's in some great stuff. He's in some terrible stuff.
also, of course, played Perry White in Batman versus Superman. So there you go. Batman connections all over the damn place here.
Well, if you want another connection, my next note was about the snowman coming alive because I instantly thought of Jack Frost. The Michael Keaton one, not the horror one.
Michael Keaton sitting taking notes. I've been like, all right, I think I'm getting an idea here.
Okay, yeah, this is good. This is good. I'm onto something.
Should we make that the Christmas special for next year? Like,
why not? Why not?
Again, the Michael Keaton one, probably not the murderous killer one. Oh, who could that be at the door? Hold on, I'll just go and get it again. Oh, Niall. Speaking of evil killers, it's Faniel Dord, Mr. Murder himself. Ah!
I got a job as a henchman, an eagle I once was. I'd run and gather instruments of death for his evil cause. He's always been a mastermind, a prodigy as a boy. I've read all of his textbooks, how to make one of your toy. I'm an olden boy, Mr. Murder's olden boy. For Mr. Murder I'm employ, I work for Mr. Murder. I'm a boogeyman, I only come out at night. I'm a demon in disguise, I'm hiding in plain sight. What the devil did you think I'd do with my time in this world? I wanna see it crumble through my claws with Mr. Murder. My family, a small price to pay for the chance to work with an evil genius in a secret island cave. I turned my back on good and I wouldn't change a thing. It's too much fun to play the villain, nothing more exciting. For Mr. Murder I would die, I'm on with Mr. Murder's mind. The god of evil deeds, I'm accessory to his crimes. I'm a boogeyman, I only come out at night. I'm a demon in disguise, I'm hiding in plain sight. What the devil did you think I'd do with my time in this world? I wanna see it crumble through my claws with Mr. Murder. My plan is at its peak. For a moment I doubt myself, something starts to break. The answer's now unraveling, I look into the mirror and scream. Schizophrenic and self-employed, Mr. Murder is me. I'm a boogeyman, I only come out at night. I'm a demon in disguise, I'm hiding in plain sight. What the devil did you think I'd do with my time in this world? I wanna see it crumble through my claws. I'm a boogeyman, I only come out at night. I'm a demon in disguise, I'm hiding in plain sight. What the devil did you think I'd do with my time in this world? I wanna see it crumble through my claws with Mr. Murder.
Ooh, oh, God, that was a lucky escape. I don't know how we made it out of that one in one piece. What were we talking about anyway? Oh, yeah, the scene outside.
But then, even better, yet again, one-upping the last thing I said. Little Richard on ice. What? It's a bit. I'm obsessed with Little Richard. I love him so much. He's the best rocker to me. Little Richard and Eddie Cochran. None of this Elvis Presley nonsense. You want those two. And Little Richard had such like balls to be like a rock and roller in the 50s in the south of the United States, wearing salmon pink suits, makeup, a big quiff, like bouffant hair, and be like openly bisexual.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I think like Little Richard too, like he seemed to refuse to age for about like 50 years. He always just kind of looked the same. I think now the bouffant is finally deflated. It's finally like he's just gone bald, but it's like for a long time there he was. I think he probably was bald at this point as well. He was just wearing wigs and stuff. But
I don't know. I can't tell. I could never tell. It looks the same as his actual head, but who knows? And he, unfortunately, though, I think he's one of those who recently, well, not recently. I think throughout the years he's struggled with certain things like. He'll randomly go through a phase where he's insanely religious and hates gay people.
Ugh.
And it's like, but you're a bisexual man. Like I think it's maybe a bit of self-loathing coming out.
That's what I wonder. I think talking about like Darren Houston. I think at one point like Prince distanced himself from the two girls in the Revolution because he was just like, no, they're obviously they're gay, so I'm not about that.
Prince.
Yeah,
you're
again,
gay as hell.
Yeah, it's just like, well, like Prince, it's nothing about you. Even though he was insanely religious, that still seems like a walking contradiction. Because it's like that man is so all about premarital sex and stuff like that. Like, how can he be religious when he seems like he does everything?
Everything with anyone.
Yeah. But I think I mentioned that to Darren because I came across this randomly somewhere, and he's like, I've never heard about this. So if he's never heard about it, maybe it was just like a bunked article from somewhere or another. But anyway.
Well, there's one last thing with the skating as well.
Oh, yeah.
Even better again. Pee-wee outskates Little Richard. But the reveal is what makes it. It's not Pee-wee, it's a stunt double. He just comes over and thanks. It was amazing. I was dying. I had to pause. Genuinely good jokes in this. I can't recommend it enough. Oh, and actually, mentioning queer stuff, then you get Katie Lang, who's barely aged. She looks the same now.
Because Katie Lang always has the lowercase KD. And as a proofreader, I'm always like, well, what's happening here, Katie? Like, because it always like,
does annoy me as well, yeah.
At the same time, it's her right to, I don't know, grammatically present her name any way that she wants. But it's very much like, well, if I see Katie Lang written in a document, I'm going to capitalize it. I hope you realize that. Although I guess it shouldn't be any different from the iPhone being in a lowercase I and a capital P.
I suppose, but this is a name. It seems different, I agree. But, at the same time, it's a stage name. I guess you can do what you want with a stage name.
I did like, though, because, she does the, Jingle Bell Rock. And it's like, it's almost like it's like the anti-Mean Girls version of it, really. Like, but I love, though, that she is so into it. Like, because when Grace Jones showed up, she was kind of doing the Grace Jones shtick, where you couldn't really, it was like an ice queen kind of vibe.
Yeah, that's what she's always like, isn't it?
But, so if you told me, like, Grace Jones loved being on the show, or if she hated being on the show, I wouldn't be surprised either way.
It both makes sense.
But Katie Lang was just like, oh, she clearly was having, like, the time of her life performing on Pee-wee's Christmas special.
She is giving it her all, and it's fantastic. Katie Lang on a kid's show as well. What the hell's going on? It's amazing. Oh, we never mentioned one of the best bits as well. Oh, there's so much. The mail lady turns up. I thought this was fantastic. And I know that you had a theory about the name, didn't you?
Well, No, but I was wondering if it was supposed to be a joke, because as it's presented, as you say it, it's like, yeah, Reba, the male lady. It's like, is it supposed to be, oh, she's a male lady?
It should have been RuPaul.
Oh, okay, yeah, it could have been. Although, do you know who it is who's playing her? Did you recognize her?
Yet again, right, they looked familiar.
Because this
but
is
I
someone...
quite put my finger on it, so I decided deliberately not to look this one up.
It is one of those people when you realize who it is, it's like, oh my god, that's Miles Dyson's wife from Terminator 2.
Oh my god! Right, Lol said that to me when we were watching it. She said, "That looks like Miles Dyson's wife. Is that her?" And I'm like, nah, it can't be. Nah.
Like, she would never have appeared in anything else.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so cool.
Although
and then the actual delivery itself is hilarious.
That's the press on, or is it, no? She gets another fruitcake for
another fruitcake,
and then Pee-Wee gives her press on nails that are insanely huge. And then she's like, oh, these are a bit big, Pee-Wee. And he's like, I know, they're toenails.
I love that because it doesn't make a lick of damn sense anyway. Why are they
It's also
so big?
like, she's not got like friggin' Bigfoot feet, you know?
Oh, it's great.
It's like toenails the size of her face, basically.
And it's her who drops off Grace Jones as well, isn't it?
Oh,
Or is
that's
that
right.
someone else?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That's crazy.
Oh my god, it's like Grand Central Station around here today.
The door again. We're trying to do a show and the bloody door's gone again. Let me go have a look. Hang on. Ooh, hang on. We're talking about the mail lady. There's a mailman here now. He looks a bit strange, though. Let me open the door. Oh my god. Niall, it's the local goth postman. And he's with Pete Bentham and the dinner ladies.
About the postal service, would the minds be too narrow to see past his mascara and the early starts? Would they break his heart? It don't seem right for a creature of the night. Got a postman, got a postman, got a postman. I'm your biggest fan. Things went okay. In fact, it was handsome. His boss's name was Manson. If you hear Gall in your postal area, everything sound is system making his rounds. Got a postman, got a postman, got a postman. I'm your biggest fan. It's not his bag. 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 It ain't
Oh, thank you so much, Goth Postman. That was a fantastic delivery, and I hope to see you again soon. I hope we don't have to wait till next Christmas.
Oh, yeah, see you guys. Though, John, did they leave any fruitcake? Or...
I mean, we've got about 10 pieces of fruitcake now, which will last me maybe the next 2 hours.
Oh.
You underestimate my love of fruitcake.
See, I'm not a big, like, Christmas pudding and fruitcake and stuff. Not my kind of thing. I know it's my dad is majorly into it, where he's had a Christmas pudding in the fridge since last Christmas, and he's just like, every time I mention it to him, he's just like, it's good till next year.
It is. They keep. I know, because I buy extra in December so I can eat them for the next couple of months.
I just like the idea that he's so like, oh, I'm prepared. Like, mid-July, I would have caved and been like, I'm having this now. But he's like, no. I'm waiting until next Christmas for it.
Yeah, I cave. I usually eat them throughout January. I'm just like, yeah, get it out. But you can't get the brandy butter or the brandy cream, depending on your preference. You can't get that after December, so you're screwed. You just have to go with normal cream.
There's so many of these things. Well, again, I think I have so many Christmas foods I'm not into, like plum pudding. Is plum pudding? What's the difference between plum pudding and Christmas pudding? Is there a difference?
There's a difference. They're very similar, but I think the Christmas one doesn't have plums. I think, but it's essentially the same kind of thing, just slightly different ingredients.
It just feels all like this was stuff that people had as a treat back before they made like proper confectionery.
That's why I like it. I like the history as a history student.
That's one thing, though, and hopefully if he listens to this, he might hope he doesn't hold me to it. But I believe in Sean German for next year now is going to be covering Muppets Christmas Carol.
Oh, I'm excited if that goes ahead.
And I think in preparation, because I've still not had a plump Christmas goose, I was planning to maybe get like, oh, I'll see if I can get a goose, and then like get a properly good goose, make a big meal out of it and stuff. And my friend Dave, who we mentioned on the show several times, professional chef, he's forwarded me an article that someone had done like historical research basically to find out what the Cratchits would have had in that era for their Christmas dinner.
Probably not a goose or a turkey, I'm guessing.
Well, I think, they have to, because it's, they do say in Muppets Christmas Carol, like, oh, the goose. So the goose will have to be there. But everything else is like, well, it's up for, see what else they've got. It's probably going to be friggin' like, I don't know, crackling,
Hey, when I ate meat, crackling was amazing.
Oh, I hate crackling as well.
Ah, jeez.
It's just congealed fat, isn't it? This is horrible.
That's why it's nice.
No, can't do it, man. Can't do it at all.
It's the skin, though. It's, I think the fat hardens it, but it's the skin. It's the same as eating any other part of it.
No, I'm the type I don't have bacon all that often because it's like I don't dislike bacon, but I know like the internet goes crazy for bacon. But I always cut off the fat because it's like, no, I don't. I know I'm eating unhealthy things already, but I don't need to know that this is literally a slice of fat that I've got in my mouth. Like, so.
You might like streaky bacon more than like American style because that's got the fat through it, so you can't really see it.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
It's not like a big hunk of fat on the edge, which is disgusting.
Although I find out now, this Cratchit's Christmas dinner article is like it's all just fat over everything. It's crackling.
Hey, back in those days, it would be. You wanted to get as much fat in you as you could.
Yeah, but we'll see anyway. What if that? Hopefully that special goes ahead, and I'll use it as an excuse to produce this grand Christmas dinner.
Well, my Christmas dinner's not too bad, Today I will be eating my plump tofurkey.
No? Are you not a nut roast guy?
No. Nut roast it's fine, but it's very bland. It's and you get given it all the time. So I get tofurkey. Some vegetarians don't like things that replicate meat, and that's fine. I understand that. You don't necessarily even want to think about meat. That makes sense. But I'm not a vegetarian because meat tastes bad. I'm a vegetarian because I don't want to kill an animal.
Yeah.
So the taste is still good. That's not the problem to me. So I will eat the tofurkey.
Same principle as fake fur. It's like, well, you can like the look of the fur. If you have fake fur, you're getting that without actually skinning an animal, basically.
Exactly. Same thing. Both approaches are perfectly valid, though. Oh, but speaking of animals, Zaza Gabor,
Oh,
friends with a cow.
oh yes. What's her name? It's like Contessa the Queen Cow or something.
The Queen Cow. What the hell is this all about? I love it.
Oh, I was loving that too because Killian, the little 2-year-old we have in the house, he's obsessed with cows at the minute. Every other word he's talking about is cow. And he'll say something to you, and you're like, "What? Sorry, what did you say, Killian?" And then he'll look at you quizzically and go, "Cow." And he's really into Shaun the Sheep, of course, created by Nick Park. But he's also terrified of it because there's a bull in it, and he always calls the bull Big Cow. But he'll literally do impressions of the big cow to you and go like, "Oh, big cow, moo," and all this stuff. But and he sees that big cow though, he freaks out.
Wonder what it is about the male cow he doesn't like then.
I think it was chasing Shaun at one point, and I think he just thought, well, this thing is a threat, basically. But
so he's scarred for life.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But Zsa Zsa Gabor is another one of these people, like when we talked about in Johnny Dangerously. Like I still don't really know why Dom DeLuise is famous. Zsa Zsa Gabor is the same thing. It's like, well, who is this woman? Why is she in things? Because I only ever see her playing Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Yeah, basically. She's like the original version of Paris Hilton. She's just famous because. Just because you're told she's famous.
But apart from being in, a guest star for Pee-Wee, she was also killed by Freddy Krueger in Dream Warriors, you might remember.
Oh, yeah. That was amazing. I was so into that movie. It was great.
But yeah, it's the scene where like the girl gets killed by Freddy turning into a TV, but what she's watching is Dick Cavett's show. Dick Cavett, of course, who appeared in Beetlejuice, was directed by Tim Burton, so it's another Batman connection.
Everything's connected. Woo!
And yeah, I remember like, I wonder if Zsa Zsa ever heard this, but like, I think they got Dick Cavett, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be a guest. You're gonna have a little cameo in Dream Warriors. You're gonna be interviewing someone. Choose whoever you want. Just make it the most flamboyantly stupid guest you can think of." And Dick Cavett said like Zsa Zsa Gabor because she seems like the stupidest woman alive, and I would never have her on my show. And if I wanted to see anybody get killed by Freddy Krueger, it would be Zsa Zsa Gabor. It's like, that is so mean. And
that's horrible.
Zsa Zsa's bound to have heard that as well. It's like, were they on set? Was she just like sitting trying to talk to Dick Cavett? And he's like, "Get the hell away from me!" Like, I'm just waiting for Freddy to kill you. But it's like, I don't know if maybe Dick Cavett was joking. I'm not entirely certain, but it just seemed like that's a real dick move to be like, yes, I absolutely despise this person. I would never have them on my show, but by all means, have Freddy Krueger kill her in front of me.
That is dark. Holy crap.
And fortunately, she survives her encounter in Pee-Wee's Playhouse.
Just.
There's another one of these things, though, where they have another special guest who I'm not entirely sure who she is. What's her name? Dinah something. I think she must be like a newscaster or something.
Oh, I haven't even written this one down.
She was the one.
It's the same thing. I didn't know who it was.
Yeah, but I think she had the aura about her of like a news person or something. But yeah, she actually gets like, Dinah Shore. That's who it is. This is the quick Google of Dinah Shore to see who she is.
Well, see, the thing is, though, not only is this to us foreign, but it's also quite a long time in the past. So she might have been all over the TV, even in England at the time.
Apparently she's long dead. She died in 94, so that's only like a couple of years after this.
Oh, no.
Apparently she was an actress. She did a version of Buttons and Bows, which is if you're a Frasier fan, that's a very big, it was a very big deal. But I guess she just seemed like she was like a kind of musical star or something. But I don't know why I just assumed like, she seems like a newscaster.
You get as well Pee-Wee doing possibly my other favorite thing in this.
That's Dinah Shore. Like she's singing. I don't know if it's like the 12 Days of Christmas, but it seems to go on for about 5 hours.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say he cuts back and forth between people. But yeah, she's singing, and he slips out of the booth and puts a dummy of himself in his place. Because it's a video call. It's like a precursor to, what's that iPhone one? I don't know. I don't have an iPhone.
Oh, God knows. Like I'm not.
FaceTime. That's it.
As one of these things of like, I should be embracing it because it's the future. But like, people have been able to see you during phone calls. It's not a thing I'm interested in. Like,
No, whoever wanted that? Terrible idea.
it's like when people kept saying to us, like, why don't you film the podcast and then put that on YouTube? It's like,
Someone said that to me the other day, like as a Patreon thing. Why don't you record yourself? No.
it's like, yeah, it's like you don't realize like I'm wearing like a crusty old dressing gown at the minute. I look terrible. Like, 'cause it's a Sunday afternoon. Of course, it's actually Christmas Day, as we all know.
It's Christmas Day. Woo.
We're wearing our finest Christmas jumpers.
I am actually wearing my Christmas jumper, sweater to you Americans. I am wearing it right now. It is my Star Wars one that I have taken to wearing most years now. I haven't replaced it because it's too perfect. I looked at buying another one and was like, none of these are as good. I've reached perfection.
The only thing I ever do at Christmas in terms of I'm so not a festive guy. That's the thing. I don't have any problems with Christmas or anything, but it's just like,
why are we doing this then? Damn it!
It's just more like because even like this year, like, people are getting like the house decorated with Christmas trees and stuff. And people in the past have criticized me for like not putting up a Christmas tree in my room and stuff. But like,
oh, you should. You should have a little one.
Yeah, but I've just never been really into it. It's just like, hey, you put it up and you have to take it down again. It's just like it's just a time of year. Like it just comes and goes and stuff.
No,
Although
it's
at the same time, if it was Halloween, I'd be like, oh, freak yeah, give me all the pumpkins and all that weird crap. But
well, the only thing missing now, of course, is the aforementioned Charo.
Oh yes,
and I'm going back to her because we didn't talk about the fact that he cannot pronounce Feliz Navidad.
Oh yeah.
So he's like Feliz Navidad. Navidad. And it's amazing. I love it. And then he tries to smash the piñata, which another thing we don't really get here that much. It's not like a thing, is it? But it looks amazing. If I had a kid, I'd be getting them to do this. It's great. Kids love sweets. They love cute things. And they love smashing stuff with a stick.
Yeah. I think maybe that's why they're over here. It's like, don't encourage them to actively break things because you never know when it's going to stop.
You listeners, you don't understand like kids over here. You don't want to put dangerous things in their hands. They'll cause havoc. The children here are not to be trusted.
It's one of those things. It's like, as cute as a baby might be, every baby is inherently an asshole. Like, so if you give it something it can destroy, it will destroy it.
Yep.
It's like, it cares not for your possessions. I will also say, I can't remember the guys who actually hosted, but like in terms of, shout out White Blackula earlier for being like one of my favorite band names. Feliz Navi Pod is probably my favorite podcast name because it's just like I don't even know what they do. It's just like I like that name. So,
it's Christmas every episode, if I recall correctly.
No, but to see at the same time that could also be like a nightmare of just like oh my God. But like Krusty the Clown, made to perform for 500 hours or whatever it is.
I think it's fantastic. I think it if anything, it would be a great like view of someone's descent into madness. You'd learn a lot.
Right, okay. I'm kind of just getting used to this door going all the time now and getting interrupted constantly. Let's go see who this is. Hopefully, it's somebody fun. Speaking of fantastic podcast names and descents into madness, can you believe it? It's Odessa Lil, Klingon Vanna White, and Shecky Davis Jr. of the Speak Easily Hour Minute podcast.
Hello, Bat Minute.
How you doing, Bat Minute?
Greetings and salutations, Bat Minute.
The Speak Easily gang, Klingon Vanna White, Shecky Davis Jr., and me, Odessa Lil, just wanted to stop by and say...
Happy Christmas!
Merry Short Mass.
No! Happy Inclusive Holidays.
Whatever. Can we sing now?
Yeah, okay. We'd like to carol to our Bat Minute family as a thank you for having us on as guests so many times.
Well, I've never been on the show.
Okay, so on the count of 3. 3.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love
gave to me. I'm hungry. You got anything to eat in this place?
Oh, I'll make cookies.
What? No, you guys. We came here all the way from California to sing a stupid consumerist Christ song for these Batman freaks, and now you're making cookies?
I feel kind of weird.
Yeah, me too. But the cookies should help.
Shh. Oh no. Act cool. That cop over there is totally staring at us.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Cop? Where?
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Oh, Shecky, that's not a cop. It's John Fenn's Christmas tree.
Then why is it breathing? Ooh, and the cop lights are making such pretty trails.
Klingon, get down from there. This is why I can't take you guys anywhere. And why we can't have friends and things or 2 consecutive thoughts. Jesus.
Oh, now you believe in Christmas, huh?
God, no. No, just an expression. Ugh. God, now I feel kind of weird.
Oh, look at the kitty. Look at the kitty. Drusilla, come here. Kitty, 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 kitty.
Meow, meow.
Oh, Drusilla, good kitty. Good kitty.
I want you to go out and kill, Klingon. Kill!
Yes, master.
Get away from that cat!
Hey, anyone else smell smoke? And cookies? Wow, I could totally eat right now.
Cookies are ready.
Who makes cookies in a freaking microwave?
And I suppose you're Paula Jean?
I think I can literally taste the light coming off of that Christmas tree. Oh, why do I feel like this?
Oh, it's probably the LSD I put in everyone's hot chocolate before we left the house.
You what?
I said I was going to take you on a trip for Sharp Mass.
Thank Korean Jesus I didn't drink any of that hot chocolate.
Why?
Because you know Paula Dean, dear. Merry Sharp Mass. Holidays. Festive.
Ooh. Thanks for dropping by, guys. That was baffling as always. Vanna, you forgot your coat. That's actually a layer of dead skin. I forgot that Christmas is Klingon shedding season. I'll get a back door next time. See you guys.
Bye. See ya.
Anyway, back to Pee-Wee.
Ah, yes, we probably should do that. Where was I? But God, there's so much going on in this. We also we expand the holiday. It's not just Christmas in a way, because he then speaks to a Jewish person, and they have fun with a dreidel.
Yeah. Of course, Pee-Wee's exceptionally excited by the idea that, do you get presents for Hanukkah? And we get 8 days of presents. Oh my God. Which, of course, if you're a kid, that is still your main objective. It's just you get 8 days of presents. That's why wouldn't everybody be Jewish if you got 8 days of presents every damn year?
It does sound pretty cool. Are they proper presents, or are they religious presents? Here's a new Torah. I think
it might be very minor. You get a lot of them. Well, you get 8 of them, but it might be kind of smaller things, and then maybe on the last day it's something bigger. But
yeah,
but not entirely. I don't know many Jewish people to go and ask. Again, that's not really a big thing over in this side of the pond either.
No. But we do eventually. We go back to Christmas again. We go back to Christmas, and we get Randy. Is he called? Is that his name?
I think it's Randy. Yeah.
Yeah, Randy ruining Christmas for everybody, but his speech is good. He's a good socialist. He's anti-capitalist. So he might have ruined their Christmases, but he's woke them up.
Mm. So you see now on Facebook, you changing your profile picture to a picture of Randy. That's going to be your Christmas decoration, is just that puppet hanging from the roof atop a Christmas tree.
I would genuinely love that. I would think that would be great. But I may be a socialist, but I love Christmas. I don't care. I don't necessarily see it as commercial. It doesn't have to be commercial unless you want it to be.
Mm.
It can just be about doing good deeds.
Yeah, that's true.
Good deeds can be a present. Doesn't have to be a present. It can be anything. I like having a day just for everybody to be nice and happy.
This is a nice period.
Very few people are happy anymore.
This is a nice period too, where everybody's off at the same time. Everybody's kind of on vacation at the same time, except for, of course, the unfortunate souls who have to work throughout Christmas. So very sorry to them, but most people tend to be off.
And they're having fun, and the mood's light, and there's no pressure to, like, you know, sometimes when you meet up with people and you're enjoying yourself, you think just like, oh, well, I've got to have the most fun I can tonight because I won't get to come out again for 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Whereas Christmas, it's, whatever. Everything's just laissez-faire. It's great.
No. I just have to, every year I do the same thing, though, because I have to fill out a tax return in January myself because, you know, self-employed and whatnot. And it's so stressful because I keep thinking I'm going to mess it up, and I never do. But it looms over the holiday for me now, and I keep thinking I should do it before Christmas because then I can enjoy it. But I keep thinking, like, well, what if I do it before Christmas and then something does go wrong and they send me a letter and I'm just worried throughout the entire holiday?
Yeah,
so they end
true.
up thinking, then, like, now I'll leave it until, or maybe I should leave it a couple of days before I go home for the holidays, and then if they do send a letter, I won't get it. But then I just know internally I'll be thinking about, I wonder if they sent anything the whole time. So yeah, that's my one, like, fall down of Christmas. It's just like I always associate it with that now. But
that would get me as well. Especially American listeners might not know this. We don't normally have to do taxes. Like, it's done for you at point of receiving your wages and at point of sale of goods. So we don't have any interaction with it. I don't know anything about it except self-employed people.
Yeah.
Because they're paying their own wages, essentially.
Yeah. And I always try to keep mine as simple as I possibly can. So that's why when I see, like, you know, that episode of The Simpsons where Homer doing his taxes and he's just, like, giving Marge her own painting and going, like, oh, it's a business gift and all this stuff. I'm like, what is this?
Start putting some Bat-Minute stuff down as business expenses. Put the website hosting fees.
I think I remember when I was signing up for being self-employed, the guy who was signing me up, he's all like, well, you need to claim your expenses. What? Pens? Well, you need a new computer, don't you? And I was like, no, I don't. He's like, no. He's kind of winking, like, yeah, you do.
You
like,
do.
He was trying to, but I was just like, nah, I'm keeping everything simple. Like, I'm not going to try to, nothing that I'd have to go back to and they'll be like, well, what's this? And I'll be like, I honestly don't remember. So,
that new gold lined dressing gown.
I look like Supreme Leader Snoke sitting recording this and that in that dressing gown.
But what's this throne room you've had built in your house? It was a business expense.
It's just that red room, but it's all red egg cartons, just for sound purposes, you know.
That's where you podcast, isn't it? That's where you are now.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. It's like where you hear the booming echo of the throne chamber I'm in.
That's exactly how I picture you anyway. At any moment, that is what you look like. In your lovely Hugh Hefner-esque robe.
Actually, I'm quite happy with because people might not know this, but, like, at the minute, I've got quite a nice setup for the podcasting purposes. I've got a proper desk. I've got all the Batman memorabilia I have in front of me to inspire me throughout the recording and whatnot. But, like, way back when the show started, I didn't have a desk, and so I used to record by balancing the microphone on top of an old microwave, on top of a stool. And it was very sad looking. And I think I remember other people, like, in the Movies by Minutes group, like, putting on pictures of their podcasting setup. And I was like, I should put this up for a laugh. But then people would really judge me if they knew how bad it looked and stuff.
Hey, for the first few weeks, I would record it. I would kneel on the floor and had the microphone on a small, tiny little bench.
It's like, how far we've come, John.
How far we've come. I've got a desk. I've got all kinds of fancy stuff. I've got a flag on the desk.
Yeah.
How cool is that, eh?
Just learning little things. Like, I think the first couple episodes, I was holding the microphone until I found out they're like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. So you need to buy a mic stand. Like, what? Mic stand and a pop filter. What do you think? I'm made of money? But
oh, mine came with a stand.
Ooh, la-di-da.
Fancy. Didn't come with the pop shield, but yeah.
However, Niall, what if we recorded some of the podcast on a one-horse open sleigh, on a sleigh ride itself? Ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else, A.P.A.T.!
Just hear those sleigh bells ting-a-ling-a-ring, ting-ting-a-ling too. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Outside the snow is falling and our friends are calling you. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Giddy up, let's go. Let's look at the snow. We're riding in a wonderland of snow. Giddy up, let's go.
Thanks, guys and gals. That was one hell of a ride.
But back in Pee-wee, so he then makes that new wing out of fruitcakes.
Yeah.
And building it are fruitcakes, apparently. That's the joke. And all I could think of was, even though it's not hot stuff coming through. It had that vibe to it, I thought. Just these buff, shirtless men building.
But honestly, I never really made the fruitcake connection until you missed. But I was slightly like, why have we got such homoerotic builders in it? I mean, now it is all like, yeah, that entirely makes sense. It's like,
he keeps making jokes about there's too many fruitcakes. And the whole show is like gay.
I kind of thought it was just like
fantastic.
supposed to be like, oh, kids hate fruitcake, so him having a fruitcake. That's the joke. Like, oh, kids don't like this.
Oh, that's 100. That's definitely how he sold it. Like maybe to the network. But he puts subversive things in. There's a whole queer reading of this on YouTube.
Oh,
it's like a whole like analysis of the show. It's fantastic.
I will say though, for like we're living in a time now where people are always actively pointing out like diversity within casting and stuff, and the fact that we're at a ridiculous point in time where people were kicking up a fuss that there was a black guy as the main character of a Star Wars movie back when The Force Awakens came out and stuff.
Ridiculous, yeah.
But
why wouldn't there be? God damn it.
Yeah, but I will say though, like Pee-wee does seem to. Like, it is a very diverse cast. It's like most of the co-stars are like he's literally got Blackula there. Cowboy Curtis. People of color. He had he got in Charo to celebrate other cultures' festive celebrations and stuff. A lot of female co-stars and things like that. So it's like, yeah, Reba the male lady, a black a woman of color.
He's got gay people on the show as well.
So it's
very broad.
We'll say like for the time, it was quite progressive, and I guess that's all part of Paul Rubens's kind of thing of like, it's supposed to be a positive show for children and stuff.
And that's probably part of why it sort of seems to still resonate with a lot of people, especially in America now, is because it probably does still feel kind of, in a weird way, kind of fresh.
Yeah. I will say as well, like if, we didn't have this over here, but I imagine if Pee-wee's Playhouse was on TV when I was a kid, I probably really would have liked it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it does have you can see why Tim Burton would have been interested in making a movie for him and stuff. Like it really sells that very, very strange, like very weird humor and stuff.
Do you know who else I think would probably have really liked this and could have done a movie of it if they were tamed a little bit? John Waters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's got like that weird. It's got like a serial mom kind of vibe or something.
Yeah, it's got kind of day glow colors, and it's about like innocent portrayals of things that seem wholesome.
Yeah,
but he's got a really warped underbelly to it and stuff.
if you keep him at that kind of level or the Hairspray kind of level, and don't let him go full like Pink Flamingos or something, he could have done a Pee-wee film, I think.
Actually, just give a quick IMDb, because I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out like he was a guest on it or something at some point.
I could picture that 100%.
Because it seems like that. Now you say that, it's like, oh yeah, of course John Waters should have been involved with Pee-wee's Playhouse in some capacity. But
if he and Paul Rubens haven't worked together, what is going on in the world? Come on.
Let's see. Not that I can see.
Come on.
But yeah.
Now is the time, guys. John Waters come back with a new movie starring Paul Rubens.
This is a man who actively worked with Woody Allen. Why wouldn't he work with Paul Rubens? It doesn't make any sense. But
let's not go into Woody Allen.
But of course, no Christmas special would be complete without an appearance from everybody's favorite Christmas character, except for Jesus. We get the Santa himself, of course, arrives at the
Sandy Claus.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Like, so I looked into the guy playing him, and he's not famous at all. Like, I kind of thought he would have been like, they would have got like, just some like a big John Goodman playing Santa or something.
Why not? Everyone else is a bloody guest star.
Maybe he wanted to give the illusion to kids like this is the genuine Santa Claus or something. So we literally just got some guy who just looks like him.
Maybe they don't want to distract the kids. Like, this is Santa.
Yeah. That's because if you're buying into everything else in the Playhouse world, it's like, well, of course the actual Santa would be there. But
yeah, I mean, there's a talking chair.
Yeah, Cherry.
So,
I think that's the whole thing of it was like, yeah, everything like so the floor talks and it's called Flory and the window
Flory?
talks. Window talks is called Windowy, I guess. Or something.
I love that so much. It just sticks E on the end.
I think that's at the beginning when he's doing all the guests. It's just all the people who are normally in the show, but he's going into every single Lampy and Roofy and all this.
It's just a lamp.
Although Roofy would be probably one he shouldn't put in the show, quite frankly.
Oh no.
But yeah. So then, kind of briefly mentioned earlier, like Pee-wee apparently his Christmas list was so long that no other child can actually get a present. So he agrees to give it all up, and then goes out on Santa's sleigh to help deliver the presents, which is not good, nice for Pee-wee, nice for everybody, I guess. It brings us to, then we get a lot of very dodgy footage of Paul Rubens and Santa against a green screen.
It looks amazing, though. I love it. He's become his little elf. He's got an elf-like quality to him, doesn't he?
I did think it was quite strange, though. Like Santa was like, well, I have to, he's like, I have to give back all of them. He's like, yep, every single one. It's like, could Pee-wee not keep one present for himself? Like, one.
Yeah, I think if they said, Pee-wee, you can keep, this pile, and Pee-wee then said, no, you know what? I'm going to give them all back.
Yeah.
That would be nice. But he's basically told, nah, you got to give them all back.
Yeah. I guess then his present is the fact that he gets to deliver the presents with Santa, I suppose. But
so work.
Yeah.
That can't be fun for Santa.
That's how the capitalists trick you into doing it, John.
That's it.
Randy was right the whole time.
Yeah, Randy. Follow Randy. Get behind Randiest thought.
People are like, is that like Ayn Rand? Like, no, it's the puppet from Pee-wee's.
Oh my God, no. Not Ayn Rand. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's like his classic novel, Puppet Shrugged. But yeah, that's kind of like the end of the... That's the end of the special. I don't know if there's anything else we forgot to mention, or...
I mean, there's 1,000,001 things we forgot to mention. We could be here all day talking about this. It's wonderful. Everybody go and watch this immediately if you haven't. I thought it was excellent, and I think I'm going to watch this every year. This is a new yearly tradition. Well,
the thing is that because this was handily on... Well, for one thing, it's on YouTube, but it was also handily on the UK Netflix, weirdly enough. As is all of Pee-wee's Playhouse. So maybe we'll return to this down the line and watch like a series of that and do a series review of... or a season review of like the first season of Pee-wee's Playhouse or something. Because I think then you'll get into all like Phil Hartman being in it and Cyndi Lauper doing the theme tune and all that kind of stuff, which is sadly absent from this special. But or I don't know, do like Pee-wee's Big Adventure or something down the line. We got so much related content to.
Oh yeah, I'm in for that because I now want to just go and watch the movies.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great. I get they're going to be a different vibe to the show, but the show, it totally worked for me. I love it. Instant fan.
Well, that was the thing. Like within Pee-wee's Big Adventure, like it's set before Pee-wee's Playhouse, but like he does still live in a big, crazy, weird house that has like loads of not like talking furniture, but like he has like a crazy breakfast machine. Everything's just like it just seems like a child's playhouse, basically.
So like Wallace and Gromit again.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but it's I don't know. Maybe that's where Nick Park got that from. Like he's like, did that work for Paul Rubens, and he did that breakfast machine thing, or maybe freaking Paul Rubens got it from him. I don't know, but it just and yeah, but there's a lot more stuff. Like I said, there's a love interest in it and stuff. Dottie, played by the wonderful E.G. Daly, and then he's got like a rival, Francis, who's like this, basically like the bad Pee-wee.
Oh yeah, like is he a bit like Mr. C in Twin Peaks season 3?
Well, he's not actually like played by Paul Rubens, but it's like
that would have been great.
Like it's just this other random like fully grown man who's like a guy who looks like he's in his 40s, but he seems to be playing a child for some reason.
Oh, he should have been a doppelganger of Pee-wee.
I guess that'd be Ernest Scared Stupid or whatever. Was there one where I guess Ernest did it before Twin Peaks, where it's like, oh yeah, Ernest turned into like an evil version of Ernest.
Wow. I wouldn't know because Ernest isn't really a thing here either.
No, I did see those were like available in video shops, so I did see a few of the Ernest movies. But I think it was a famous bit of how did this get made though, where like June's talking about like how she thought that like evil Ernest was kind of hot.
She liked him, yeah.
Yeah, and Jason Mantzoukas is just kind of freaking out because he's like, "Wait, what?" and the thing is, yeah, it's June and like I'm not too sure that the female guest is, but they're both kind of going like, "Oh yeah, he's very, very sexy and stuff."
He's a bad boy.
Yeah, oozing sexuality and stuff. And Jason's like, "Oozing? He's oozing? What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah, Ernest is a sexy guy. Who doesn't love a bit of that?
No, but yeah, I think I'm ready to pack up the Playhouse if you are.
Yes, we're going to pack up the Playhouse and let you all go and have fun with your new toys, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Come and chat to us. We're on Facebook at the Bat Minute Listeners Cave, and we're on Twitter at Bat Minute. And if you enjoyed this, subscribe to the Patreon because you get stuff like this all the time, at least once a month. Although this month you're going to get loads. You're getting loads of content. There's mountains of it. Aren't you lucky? And thanks a lot to Christopher Dennis Di Guardia for our lovely twinkly little intro at the start there. A master of the keys.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
Another ring of that bell. We're trying to pack up the show and then that door goes again. Who the hell could this be? Oh my God, Niall. It's Zombina and the Skeletones.
Oh my God.
And they've brought us a chainsaw for Christmas.
Last year my baby got me a Game Boy. I still haven't taken it out of the box. Oh no. My family still get me the same toys. They might as well be buying me rocks. Oh yeah. Every year I send the same list. First class to Santa's house. Every year I feel a little more sick at the way Santa's messing me about. I want girlskin shoes and a boyskin hat. I want the new Slayer album and a double RS. But most of all, I want a chainsaw for Christmas. I want a chainsaw for Christmas. I want a chainsaw for Christmas, yeah, 'cause I can give that gift to all of the world. I get the feeling we're gonna have some good fun. We'll have a party time. Oh yeah. I hope my baby gets me a nail gun. And I hope he lets me try it out on his spine. Oh yeah. I want an atom bomb and a bulkhead rig, the Necronomicon, and some sandwiches. But most of all, I want a chainsaw for Christmas. I want a chainsaw for Christmas. I want a chainsaw for Christmas, yeah, 'cause I can give that gift to all of the world. I want a chainsaw for Christmas. I want a chainsaw for Christmas. I want a chainsaw for Christmas, yeah, 'cause I can give that gift to all of the world. Give that gift to all of the world. I can give that gift to all of the world. Oh yeah! All right, come on! Wow! I want a chainsaw for Christmas. I want a chainsaw for Christmas. I want a chainsaw for Christmas. Give that gift to all the
How do they always know what I want?